All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Castro Show. This is actually our first promo for the Castro Show. I will be your Castro Show. All right, yeah. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Don't have a lot of time. Ya, se acabó. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. And welcome to the Castro Show, our very first episode of the Castro Show. We're just so excited about getting the opportunity to put this on. Thank you for joining us too. It's really important to me that you gave us an opportunity to tune in, to check it out, and hopefully you'll continue to come back and see how we grow and evolve within the Castro Show. So we're really excited about it. This is our first show. If you got a chance to see the demo that we put out, or the promo, I should say, we talked about what the premise of the show is. And so that's where we kind of want to start. So topics within the show that I'm going to talk about are things that I've experienced, things that are going on in my life, and hopefully you'll find them interesting and thought-provoking, and who knows, maybe you'll make a connection to some of what I'll be talking about. In addition to that, I think another piece that's going to make it into the show is, obviously, I'm a Puerto Rican, and I'll be talking a fair amount about my culture and what it was like to grow up in Quebradillas, Puerto Rico, and my family in San Lorenzo, Puerto Rico. Shouts out to both of those towns and all of the people in Puerto Rico, right? All my family and friends out there. You'll see my Instagram, my YouTube, my Facebook, and TikTok. So feel free to follow them all, and just let me know what you think about the show and what topics you'd like me to cover in upcoming shows. So for today, I plan on talking a lot about a recent trip I had to make, which is why today's show is titled Oklahoma. Right? Yeah. So, during COVID, and we're pretty much in the heart of it, right? We're hopefully getting towards the end, but we're still at a point where there's a lot of folks getting COVID, and although the vaccines are being distributed, it's still a precarious time. So it just so happens that over the course of January, February, my girlfriend was telling me about a situation that her daughter was involved in, where she was trying to make it back to Connecticut from where she was staying. She was residing in Arizona, and so the idea was to try to see if there was any way we can help her, and obviously we looked at moving companies and things of that nature, but there was still the issue of the cars, right? And this became cost prohibitive to kind of get her back to Connecticut safely, during this time of COVID, and also the expenses of it. So one of the things we thought about doing is maybe we would fly out and she would fly back and we would drive the cars, right? Her boyfriend would drive one car and then she and I would drive the other. That was the plan. Well, you know what they say about good plans, right? Or about plans in general. Sometimes they just go awry, right? And this plan did not go off, well, mainly because, who was going to anticipate that on the week that we were flying, there would be a historic snowstorm in the states of Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, you name it. It basically covered a big swath of the U.S. and so it really impacted us. And it created a situation where, even though we were trying to do this sort of last minute, we weren't going to fly together. Long story short, I wound up stuck in Oklahoma. And I say stuck because that wasn't the original plan, right? The original plan was us getting to Arizona. So I had to stop in Oklahoma, and I was in Oklahoma for about two days. And so that's sort of where the story begins.
I guess I should start by just saying that I have no issues with planes. I've been flying all my life. And many different airports, many different types of planes, big ones, little ones, you name it, I've probably been on it. So that wasn't the issue. The issue was we're flying during COVID. So like I got my shield on, my mask on. I haven't flown in a while. And look, I'm the only one wearing that. Not to mention the fact that I'm flying in the heart of winter. It's February. February 18th is when I flew out. So you know what happens when you're flying in the winter? Yeah, you gotta de-ice the plane. And for my Spanish-speaking friends, my Latinos, cuando uno está volando, tomando un vuelo en el invierno, tienen que ponerle un líquido al avión para asegurarse de que funciona como es debido. En este caso están viendo eso, lo que llaman de-icing, o me imagino que es descongelando. Y aquí hay un hombre que está haciendo ese trabajo. Mira el trabajo que lo tienen haciendo afuera, en el frío. Estaba como a 20, de 15 a 20 grados este día. It was about, 10 to 15 degrees with the wind chill. So this poor man was taking care of us with the de-icing. And there's actually two solutions that are needed. The clear one that you saw a minute ago, and then this green one. Once he took care of us, we were ready to go. We were ready to fly. Ahí ven que hasta dos líquidos son requeridos para asegurarse que no tengamos problema. And here's the Chicago. You can see the person was inside of that cab, spraying our plane to de-ice it.
Good evening from the flight deck. This is the first officer speaking. We're currently taxiing down to the number 2 for takeoff. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
So get this. I land in Oklahoma just like a night or two after they had gotten like a foot of snow. And it snows in Oklahoma, but they haven't gotten anything like a foot of snow in like decades. And so they weren't prepared for it. I mean, when our plane landed, our plane was basically plowing its way. Our plane, was plowing its way into the airport. And so, here's an image. I land and I had to get a hotel. So I get to the hotel. First of all, no Ubers, and very few taxis because, a lot of the roads aren't plowed. So I had to wait quite a while before I got to the hotel. But I get to the hotel. Next morning, I wake up to what? That's right, an earthquake. There I was, just a little groggy, right? Because it was a long flight. And, you get whatever you get in terms of sleep. And I feel the whole room shaking. And I can hear this sort of rumbling. So I'm like, I know there's no trains around here. At least I didn't see anything that resembled a train track. Could that be like a garbage truck or something that's just like rolling by this hotel, and it's all of a sudden everything is shaking, and then all of a sudden it continues to shake, and I can hear the things in the room, the lampshades moving and stuff. And sure enough, it felt like an earthquake. So I turned on the TV. And I see this.
My house in Midtown Tulsa.
Yeah, I saw so many of you talking about it online. I didn't feel anything in Owasso.
Yeah.
And this was a magnitude 4.2. Luckily, there have been no reports of damage or injuries. But Fox 23's Tanya Motorzitsky is live after seeing some of your reactions online.
Gosh, Clay and Shay, what a week it's been. If ice, snow, and this bitter cold temperature wasn't enough, we're ending the week with an earthquake. I know, Shay, like you, I did not feel anything at my home in South Tulsa, but Clay, many people are like you and felt it just fine.
That's how Oklahoma greeted me, with an earthquake. But I had never experienced an earthquake before, and so it was kind of an okay thing to experience. 4.2. Magnitude, so it wasn't severe, and I can now say that I've lived through a small earthquake like that. So that was the first experience I had in Oklahoma. But I wanted to see more of where I was. I wanted to see what I can. I wanted to be able to appreciate the fact that I was in a new place and see what the people were like, and so I headed off to the museum. So I'm in Oklahoma City, and this is the site of the Oklahoma City bombing. These are some of the cheers. I haven't gone to the museum just yet. I just got here.
These are the chairs that they have as a monument to, I think it's the people that died. Don't you worry about it, Greg from the past. This is Greg from the future, who has the benefit of having already been to the museum, so I can answer a lot of these questions. So you're right, those seats are representing the victims of the bombing. And actually the far end where you see that little bit of wall, that's actually the beginning of the actual building, and then the tree line represents the end of the building. So that's the length and width of the building. And at that far end where you see that monument, that says 901. That monument is to indicate before the bomb exploded. And that second monument, it says 903. That's a minute after, to represent like the innocence before, and then obviously what we know now. And at the far end, that building that you saw, that was actually where the museum is located, but that was not a part of the Alfred P. Murray building. What we're looking at here this is actually an area in the museum. It's one of the first exhibits. What they're showing you is just, they're playing a recording of a meeting that was taking place just as the bombing occurred. It's something about water approval for some pipes or something like that. And so, they actually have the recording of when the bombs went off, which is happening right here. So you see all the flashing lights. And then they show you images of all the people that died, which I believe it's about 168. So they show you all of their images. And then a pair of doors open at the far end, and you start walking out of this, what was supposed to be sort of like a mock conference room. And this, by the way, is not this building where we're at right now is still standing, and it wasn't a part of the Alfred P. Murray building. This was actually a part of another state building that is still standing, but it was several hundred feet away from the actual Alfred P. Murray buildings. Many of the buildings surrounding that building actually were not structurally sound, so they had to be taken down. But this is the only one that's standing. And if you saw the images earlier when I was outside, that's the building that was at the far end. And they actually repurposed it so that it would house this museum. The museum itself is about three to four floors, and one of the floors is an administrative floor, and it just contains so much memorabilia. I don't know if memorabilia is the right word, but the artifacts from the explosion, right? A lot of the debris is still there, and kept in a way where it looks exactly the way it did to a degree. They have a lot of personal effects from many of the people that were there. As you can see, look, this is a smashed up door. It's just something. It's just remarkable to see. My video is not doing it justice, I know. But once you get past this exhibit, I mean, this is probably the most impactful part of it, because you literally are looking at their glasses, their wallets, keychains, things of that nature. Stuff that people had on their person, and many of these folks didn't survive. That museum was very empty because people were snowed in for the most part, and I also got to see that the people of Oklahoma are really taking COVID seriously. There were some exceptions, like this gentleman who actually drove me to, he was an Uber driver. He was driving me to the actual museum, and this is what he said. COVID twice, and you're not.
In January the year before it was even in America.
Wow.
Then I had it in November too.
But did you go overseas and got it, or you got it here? Another highlight that I was able to get to see. Again, all this is just me walking around the city, the Oklahoma City area, and I went and I saw this. It's awesome. I've been walking all over this city, obviously wearing my mask whenever I've gone into any building, and social distancing and all that. They seem to be very, very aware of what is going on. It's February, so who's not aware of it? And just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what I'm experiencing. It's not the beach. It's not, you know, Cancun or Miami or whatever. Not my beloved Puerto Rico. But you know, when you gotta go out and do something, you take advantage of the time, I guess. All right. Anyway, peace out. Love you guys.
So once I got picked up, right, my people came through, picked me up at Oklahoma. Then began the long haul, right, the drive from Oklahoma City back to Connecticut. And if you've ever done a drive like that, a drive cross country, I mean, I think the farthest I've driven was from, you know, Connecticut to Florida and back. I've driven actually to Canada, to like the Niagara Falls, which is just in New York. But I mean, you know, you're driving for like 5 or 6 hours just to get there. And I've driven to Washington, D.C. and even to Chicago and back. But never really done that kind of a long leg. And it was heavy duty. And so we saw a lot of cool things, as you can see. You know, it's obviously some road signs, and obviously all the signs for the different states. My girlfriend's daughter's boyfriend, let's try to say that 3 times fast. I had his brother come down, so he had also flown down there to try to help out with the move, and helped us drive. But yeah, you know, once we got through Arkansas, Tennessee, and got through Virginia, we had to go through Maryland so we could drop him off and then keep it going to Connecticut. I will say though, out of everywhere we went, people were pretty cautious about COVID, right? About not catching the coronavirus. Masks on, mask maintenance. At the end of the show, just wanted to say thank you to those of you who stuck in and watched it to the end. A new show will be coming out, like I said, once a month. So sometime in April we'll come out with the next show. Again, I wanted to say thank you to all the people, the wonderful people of Oklahoma City, every state that we went through. Thank you to all of you. And there was one thing that I forgot to mention, and that is if you're going to Oklahoma or Oklahoma City or Oklahoma or somewhere out west, you can't come back to the east without getting yourself a nice handy dandy cowboy hat. That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you stay, you follow along one of my social media outlets for the Castro Show. We will be having more episodes. Thanks again, and goodbye. Bye, everybody. See you next time. Thanks for watching the Castro Show.
Bye bye, Chicago. Hey guys. So this is the last bit of footage I have. I wanted to leave it as bonus footage for you. It's actually some scenes from my flight from Chicago to Oklahoma, and this is just the takeoff portion of it. I wanted to save it because I thought it was kind of cool to see the plane taking off. And if you haven't flown in a while, it kind of gives you that sensation like you're about to take off. So just focus on the lights. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the next Castro Show. Bye.
Off my back, or I will attack, and you don't want that.